snack sticks, Italian-style salamis. Approximately 50% of that was wholesale throughout the state of Indiana, either through ourselves or through a distributor out of Fort Wayne. In 2022, I believe it was, that's the best guess, we became CIS certified, which is also a USDA equivalent facility, inspected by the same BOA, Board of Animal Health. But that allowed us to then distribute and wholesale outside of the state of Indiana. Since then, we have, again, with 4,000 square feet, only 120 of it was retail, right? Through the years, we decided we'd like to become a retail establishment. I have a restaurant background. So we've acquired the building that's still owned by Scott Schuler. And what we're asking for is for us to continue to make our salami, summer sausages, and snack sticks on site. So I know when we hear the term manufacturing facility, you can think of all kinds of things, live pigs being brought in and things of that nature. That is not the case. It's just a matter of bringing in product that we transform into sausage, simply the same way that years ago Kroger's would have done, you know, when they used to grind their own and turn it into sausage. The same way a butcher shop does. So the facility that we're going to be running, again, is retail. We will have breakfast, we'll have pastries in the morning with espresso, cappuccino. We have Italian-style sandwiches at lunchtime, and we have wood-fired pizza in the evening. To go along with that, we will be operating a grocery store where we will have Italian products, where we will sell our salami as well. On those sandwiches, on that pizza, are the meats that we make ourselves. So that's what manufactured meats mean, manufacturing facility. We will not distribute. We don't have an interest in doing that anymore. We are no longer, we are currently not inspected by BOA. If we want to again, we've had 0 infractions in the 6 years that we were in business. So if we wanted to, again, we could. But financially, being a wholesaler, being a meat manufacturer, you have to have a very, very large facility, which you know, we did not have. So to compete. So that's why we want to do retail. And so what we're asking for is the ability to continue to make our meats on site.
All right. Sounds very interesting. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Very interesting. What you're describing to me seems as a 60s or 70s maybe-esque sandwich shop that made it almost from scratch, basically.
Yes.
So there's no animals being brought to slaughter in the facility. It's grinds and things happening and sausage making type of stuff.
Yeah, the product that we obtain comes from Ideal Meat. It's typically Indiana Kitchen product. The other product, when we go to make our salamis and Italian meats, come from a gentleman by the name of Greg Gunthorpe in northern Indiana. He has his own USDA slaughtering facility on site. We only deal in meats that have been USDA inspected. Nothing comes to us from individuals, anything like that. So, yeah.
So you're sort of downsizing what you were doing on 65th Street and coming to the neighborhood with it, basically.
That's exactly right. And we've been involved in farmers markets for all those years: Carmel, Fishers, Noblesville, Broad Ripple. We continue to make our sandwiches every Saturday morning for the Carmel Farmers Market. We make our own bread. It's a particular kind of bread. It's fantastic. It's called scacciata. It's a little like focaccia. It's the best bread you've ever had, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
So yes, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're going to put those meats on those sandwiches.
So to do this the way that you need to bring in some storage units then to have on the property. Did I read that correctly?
So yes, so there's some walk-in coolers, right? Our space currently is limited. So on that property, 770, there's 2 buildings. Number 30 is currently a barber shop. Mm-hmm. 770 is the building that we are going to be in. Now, Scott has purchased another building somewhere. This is whether The intention is for after a year or two, provided how well we do, to potentially move that barber shop somewhere else, and then we take over Building 30, so we can expand.
Gotcha.
What that becomes in the future, we don't really know. We have ideas, but time will tell. So, what I'm getting at is the 770 is about 1,400 square feet, so it's very limited in size. We're coming from a 4,000 square foot building,
Yeah, it's a big downside.
right? So we still need coolers, and so those coolers will be built where A is, and this current cement pad, so yeah, where A is, and right here. So this is a 10 by 30, and this is also a 10 by 30.
And that sits alongside of number 30 there. It sits beside the barber shop. It's
Correct.
kind of not on
In
there.
fact, the drawing, it's actually right up against the building, so there's only about a foot and a half, 2 foot gap there.
Okay.
But what happens inside of those coolers is the manufacturing portion, where that's where we cut, that's where we would like to cut meat, under 40 degrees, and grind it, stuff it, and do our processing.
My download just worked. Sorry about that, I'm having technical difficulties, but there's the better drawing.
So in Building A is where the production, is where that grinding, cutting, stuffing happens.
Thank you.
And Building B is where we have a packaging machine. So like when you go to the grocery store and you buy a summer sausage that's in that plastic packaging,
Right.
that's the machine that's in there. It's a very expensive, $150,000 German-built machine that, and that's
Very
what.
large.
Very large, very heavy,
Yeah.
and that's what's in B. And then at the end of B is a 10 by 10 room, which is where the aged salami goes. Which hangs anywhere from small salami for 30 days up to a year and a half for prosciutto.
And Building A is being built, and Building B is the shipping container.
No, the shipping container is not shown on the map. Shipping container will be moved off-site. It's housing currently a lot of our equipment inside of there so that during the construction inside of the building, all of that isn't in the way.
Temporary.
Temporary, very, very
Yeah,
temporary.
stuff. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Question about, obvious question, a neighborhood commercial zoning area. Odors, noise.
Yeah.
What do you do with waste? Can you address any of that?
Sure.
Sure.
There are no odors to speak of.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that would even qualify for that. I mean, we do have a smoker, but we we use it as an oven, not as a smoker. So we don't even put wood pellets into it. We use it as an oven. Waste is no different than really any restaurant.
Yeah.
Closed container. Any meat scraps that go into a container get sprayed down with like an acetone so that animals cannot. It deters any animals from wanting to eat it.
Yeah.
And noise, being self-contained, the machine runs a compressor. The compressor is brand new. It's almost whisper quiet.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to think, the freezers just use a condensing unit, right? The freezers or coolers, they'll just have one condensing unit per unit, you think? Or
They will have, each one has its own individual.
Okay. I don't think those big, I don't
Yeah.
think they're big noises.
Not too
in a
bad.
condenser.
Yeah, they virtually sound like a household air conditioner.
And then you would have a dumpster someplace or trash, located. at some-
Correct. So you can, the dotted line,
Oh,
Frank, on the previous, is where the fence will be built. So.
Okay, I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
once the coolers have been built, this will be the fence, which allows us room to have the dumpster inside of here with access to a gate. The fence is
Okay.
height
6
Okay.
feet.
6 feet
Okay.
minimum would be, yeah. To look at, aesthetically pleasing to look similar to what the building is currently.
Sure.
It connects to 770 though. Where the gap is from the hatched line to the building, 770.
Right.
Well, back right.
Yeah,
So the fence would attach to the building?
it does, yeah, it's just not drawn that way.
Yeah, I just want to check. It made sense
Yeah.
that way, just
Yeah.
confirming.
Yes.
And are they good on parking between the barber and, okay.
They currently have a parking variance from
From
previous
previous-
tenant
I
that is
remember
still,
that.
in effect. There are several variances
That's-
attached to that property
they get
as the tenants have
variances
changed
for
over the years.
businesses.
Signage is one variance, it's still in effect. Several land use variances that are no longer in effect, but the parking is in effect.
That was made to the property, not to the business.
Yes, I get that, yes, that makes sense. Frank, does this go before the plan commission? Is the plan commission involved in any of this?
They will do an aesthetic review,
I would think
yes.
so, okay. So if approved tonight, it would go to,
Yes, sir.
AC, okay. Okay, and my question would be, in terms of, if you get all the approvals, when would you start this like to start this business, by no later than?
Would
whenever?
love before the first of the year. Would
Okay,
love to be
so
up and running
you're gonna
by
fast track
December.
here.
Yeah.
Okay,
We meet with the kitchen designer tomorrow to go over the,
Okay.
not, I wouldn't call them blueprints, but the plan prints,
Right.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
What are going to be your hours of operation and the days?
7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We'll argue about this. When do I want to be open and when will we be open?
Yeah.
So, yeah, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday, still to be determined, possibly 9 a.m. to approximately 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sundays and holidays closed?
Yeah, no Sunday, correct, yeah.
Okay.
And closed for major holidays. Also to add, so do we want to talk about the second variance that we're applying
Yeah.
for? Is that?
Get right
Okay, so, we do not have seating inside of the deli, right? It is, it's carry-out only. And what we are asking for is a variance to put a deck out front, with 4 tables and potentially 20 seats, which would be built sometime next spring, next summer.
I thought my technical difficulties were fixed, but they are not.
I don't see one with the deck on here, honestly.
It's in this, but I can't load it onto my computer.
Okay.
Apologize for that. But what they're proposing is 4 tables right about here.
Sorry, right in the front there.
I'm gonna mark it out for you guys.
Okay.
You won't even need an architect, he'll draw it for you.
Hang on. Come on, baby. And there's, in that area.
And then, okay.
Interesting shape, very abstract.
What is that, 48.99? 148. 148?
I think the business idea is great. I think it's a great opportunity in the town. I think it's a good spot for it. Kind of change the scenery over there, and I think it's a difference for the town that will interest people. So I think probably has potential for business. I think the coolers in this spot are interesting, but I think the plan you can see one looks pretty good to me, honestly. And I think the deck and outdoor seating is an awesome perk in this town that people like to take advantage of, especially being near the lake. So the only comment that I think I have like totally overall is concealment of the cooler, like at that one corner, but it's probably so small that it may not even matter. It's just gonna be the silver insulation or white or one of those that goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to agree with Mr. Sonny that this should be a good fit in the town of Cicero. It'll be a draw, I think. I'm hungry right now, just listening to all the stuff.
I'm looking
I mean,
forward to the bread.
the bread and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So all the stuff I shouldn't eat before I love it. But Yeah, I think, yeah, we don't have this, we don't have anything like
We
this.
don't have a deli.
This is very unique.
We were, under inspection, we were only one of 3 USDA inspected facilities in the state of Indiana, and there are fewer than 20 in the entire United States, period.
Wow.
It's a very
Well, those
difficult
are
thing to
interesting
know how to
statistics,
do and do safely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's good.
I also think it has potential to bring outside persons to Cicero, which is,
Yeah.
huge, so.
Yeah, outdoor seating is a big deal in town now.
I
you
know
know.
from other neighboring communities.
sorry?
I know from neighboring communities.
Yeah.
Bringing others
Yeah.
from neighboring communities to Cicero to spend dollars.
So we have continued to go to the farmers markets on Saturdays and promote this
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Our customers are really excited.
Our customers are very excited, especially those
Sure.
for even as close as Noblesville, Westfield, and Carmel. They've all said that this is not a far drive. It's not a difficult drive.
In terms of employment, what does that kind of look like if you're
Do you have anybody in mind?
Well, okay, I mean, like,
I mean, no,
what do you hope to
so,
employ? How many people or positions?
yeah, approximately 8 to 12.
Okay.
On paper, that's the way it looks.
Okay,
Look,
Okay.
we're originally from a small town in northern Indiana of 4,500 people, 2 stoplights. So
yeah.
we
Yeah,
understand
one
the
more
struggles
than we do. That's right.
of where to find, where to find
Yes.
employees. So
Okay,
once the building process begins, we will start that process. We do have 2 individuals who already expressed an interest in working for us, who've been customers of
Okay.
ours for years.
okay.
So we can start there. Yes.
Yeah, I just see the parking as being a big challenge, but as to your point, Frank, that
We counted on
variance
20.
is already in place for the property for that, so that's a moot point.
Yeah.
That-
I
yeah.
think outdoor seating, I mean, as it
Yeah.
relates to a variance being necessary, it's on state road 19.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't
Yeah.
see, closing at 19 being an impact to the neighboring
Yeah,
person to the north is already a business that will
Right.
likely be closed by 9 PM, so.
do you have any thoughts on beer and wine? I mean, is that
We
something
were
that,
approved for our permit
alcohol-
last week.
Okay.
We approved for the beer and wine for carryout only, no consumption on site.
Okay,
So
Okay.
that's gone through.
okay.
Mr. Reed, I know it's too early maybe to speculate, but number 30 there, what would be the plan for that facility,
A bakery,
a bakery there? Okay.
yes, with all kinds of Italian pastries, cornettos, you name
Oh,
it, bombolonis, and ice cream. We know how to make gelato, so we would love to
wow.
make gelato as well.
Okay.
Good deal.
There you go, Mike, there you go, buddy. Something for everybody.
You can never go wrong with a lot.
No, you can't.
Yes.
Anything else for the petitioner tonight before we open to the public?
No.
All right, thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Harrison Masani, I move to open this to the public.
Thank you, Mr. Masani.
Mr. Chairman, Steve Zell, I will second that motion.
Thank you, gentlemen. All in favor of opening to the public, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, these 2 items are open to the public. If you'd like to speak to either one of these, please step up to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Melanie Landis. I live at 709 South Peru Street, Cicero, Indiana, 46034. I just have a quick question. I don't know if this is the place to ask it or not, but what are the variances for parking? Is there any variance for parking on State Road 19?
The variance is for, to allow street parking. So it's the most lenient type of variance you could ask for. It has to be, to not go by these standards and to allow any sort of parking in the street. Typically, we do not allow street parking to count as a required number of spaces, but that variance allows it.
Okay. Can I get a copy of that variances or? find
Sure,
it, or
yes,
where-
I can, I'll have to email it to
Because
you.
we're across the street, and I hope you're successful, okay, but we just don't want, especially if it becomes popular,
Mhm.
what is that parking gonna look like? Are they gonna be parking in front of our house as well? That's kind of what I didn't know what you meant by variances.
Yeah. The variance allows them to use street parking where typically ordinance would not allow that. To count, there's a required number of spaces for a business this size, for the employees and for the type of business, and we can't count street parking for that, but the variance allows them to count street parking. So I can get you a copy of that. and
Okay.
If we could maybe touch base tomorrow, give me a call, I'll be happy to print it off or email it to you.
Okay. All right.
Well, and just to be clear, this is not a variance they are seeking, this was
Right, I
previous.
understand that.
Yeah, it's already in place. Yeah.
Right, so I didn't know that that was already there, and I'm curious as to what that is.
It's a very good question. There are a lot of
Yes, it is.
businesses in
Because
town that
there are
have,
neighbors across the street as well, and I just know,
yeah.
you know, the coffee shop uptown is very popular.
Mhm.
And I work at the hardware, some of you know that. And,
Yep.
you know, the parking sometimes is just a disaster.
Yeah.
You know, in order for the folks to enjoy those kind of things now that we have the Red Street or Red Bridge Bistro and things of that nature. So,
There's a number of businesses in town that do have that variance because of that parking. And probably, if I had to guess, a hardware store might be one of those.
okay,
So,
okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public? If not, I can entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Harrison Masani.
Thank you, Mr. Masani.
Mr. Chairman, Steve Zell, I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Zell. All in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. The public portion of the meeting is closed for those two items. Board member discussions, are there stipulations that we need to consider for these two?
I do have a question,
Sir.
just to be courteous of the neighbors, because I do sympathize, but also, as it relates to the business, do we know how many parking spots will be available? Because will that cooler hinder parking along that west side?
It really shouldn't.
Is that open to the alley?
The one cooler's gonna go right here, and the other one's gonna go right here. So all of this space here and here is available for parking. I estimate there's 12 spaces there, just off the top of my head.
So we actually measured at one point, there were 20.
20.
Okay, so do you think, if that cooler is here, do you think a car can go by and park and then?
Absolutely,
Okay.
100%, yeah. In fact, I've already researched that.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
And then for deliveries, you probably have some larger trucks come in?
1 day a week.
1 day a week. How do they unload?
It's typically a straight truck and just comes off the back of the truck, on a hand truck.
If there were cars there, would it be before business hours that would happen, or after business hours, or?
Typically, they'll, yes, it's around 6 a.m.
Yeah, and then is that alleyway, well, there'd be a fence there. So the delivery truck couldn't use the alleyway to deliver.
Fence will be up here.
Oh, fence will be there, okay.
So it can shield the coolers and the dumpster.
I see. Gotcha. And, yeah, okay, thank you.
I guess my hope was that, 20 parking spots, if there's 20 outdoor seats and you have some in and out business, maybe 2 people per car, hopefully there's enough parking. And your hours might be slightly off from the barbers, is what I'm hoping, peak possibly. And then people might utilize state road parking, but I feel like parking on the state road alone is a risk in itself. So I wouldn't like to park there personally, so hopefully you guys get some, peace across the street with no parking, annoying you, so. Yeah, no, I understand completely. I get it.
And I think with the majority of the business being carried out only, there's nobody staying long.
Just in and out, yeah.
And once we went towards outdoor seating, the barber shop would no longer be there, so we wouldn't be competing with those customers.
So were you saying that the barber shop is definitely gonna move, or just?
A definite maybe.
There's an option.
I guess what I need to say is we would not be building the outdoor seating if the barber shop doesn't.
Okay.
So is that a stipulation for the second one then? Yeah.
I personally don't know if I would, I don't know if I don't know
Worry
if I
about that.
would need that stipulation personally. I don't know about you guys, but.
Because the way you've figured it in your head, there's room for both.
I don't think we need to get into that.
Okay.
part. I don't think we have any business getting into that part of it. I don't think we need to stipulate that.
It was
Okay.
nice to have the clarification.
Yes, yes, I mean, we need to know that, yes. But I don't think we need to, we don't have a dog in that fight, okay? Sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I don't have anything, so.
Do we need to close public hearing then?
Yeah,
That's what we're in, isn't it?
did we close the public hearing?
We didn't close it.
Yeah, we closed it.
We did?
Yeah.
Yeah, we close it. Yeah, nobody came forward, so.
Now I just need motions to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I'll go ahead and make the motion. Can I do both at the same time?
No, we need to have
Separate, okay.
Yeah, we have to
Gotcha.
vote on them separately.
Okay, Harrison Masani here, moving to approve docket number BZA-1025-41-NC.
Thank you, Mr. Masani.
Mr. Chairman, this is Mike Berry. I second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. We'll have a roll call vote. Mark Thomas?
Approved.
Steve Zell?
Approved.
I'm Scott Bukowski. I approve. Mike Berry?
I approve.
Harrison Masani?
Approved.
All right, congratulations. That's the first one. Can I hear a motion to approve the second?
Yes, sir. Harrison Masani here, moving to approve docket number BZA-1025-42-NC.
Thank you, Mr. Masani.
Mr. Chairman, Steve Zell, I will second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Zell.
Mhm.
Have a roll call vote for this one. Mark Thomas?
Approved.
Harrison Masani?
Approve.
Mike Berry?
I approve.
I'm Scott Bukowski. I approve. Steve Zell?
I approve.
All right.
Congratulations. Welcome. And welcome, big welcome.
Next item on our docket is BZA-1025-43-R1, Alan Small at 5 Forest Bay Lane, Cicero, Indiana, 46034. Development standards variance application has been submitted regarding the property located at 5 Forest Bay Lane, Cicero, Indiana, 46034, to allow an accessory structure in front of the primary structure, whereas Article 7.5 of the Cicero-Jackson Township zoning ordinance states that an accessory structure shall only be placed to the rear or side of the primary structure in an R1 district. Is the petitioner present this evening?
Yes,
Hello,
Alan
sir.
Small, 5 Forest Bay Lane, Cicero, Indiana.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Small, this is something that we hear quite often, especially in lakefront properties, so thank you for going through your due diligence tonight with us. We'll just have a few questions for you, but you can go ahead and state what you're planning to do for the record.
Planning on putting a garden shed across from my garage. And I've been talking to my neighbor about this for a year. And Ed Hoffenmeyer lives to the south of the picture there. And so basically it's a 12 by 20 shed. It's wood structure. It's going to match our house. And also Ed, my neighbor, his front door kind of always looks into our garage. And he's like, hey, hey, this is a good idea, but you can also add a little fence, to block the rest of the view off. I'm like, yeah, no problem, Ed. So I wanted to build a shed and then extend a 6-foot privacy fence. I think it was like 12 or 18 feet. So he has no view into our parking or our garage from his front door of his house. So that's what I discussed with our neighbor, and that's what I'm hoping to get approved tonight.
This little line right here is the privacy fence.
Okay, and Frank, he doesn't need anything for that, right? That's
He does
all
not.
set?
The only variance he needs is the accessory structure in front of the primary. The
Yeah.
impervious surface is good, the
Yeah.
setbacks are good, the fence is legal.
The way our house is positioned on that lot, it created a gray area, whether this is actually side yard or front yard, so Frank agreed that it's front yard and we need to get this approval.
Yeah.
variance. You can't even see it from the road. The elevation wise, we're at like 843 at the street, at our driveway entry, and the parking down there is 830, so we're like 13 feet below. Our driveway drops down about 13 feet to that space.
So there's the lot.
Yeah.
The proposed location is right about here.
Right.
Gonna be hidden by the trees.
Yeah, it's gonna be hidden by the trees.
What size of structure is it?
12 by 20,
12 by 20?
it's just garden shed,
Mhm.
put my mowers in basically.
What sort of material is the siding on it?
It's wood siding, but it has a, I don't know what they call the finish, but it's like a paint that, it's kind of like that rhino liner paint they
Mhm.
sell on the WIBC.
Is it lap board? Or
It's-
is it just the regular planks? Or the
It's,
sheet
it
siding?
matches our house, it's a
Board and batten.
board and batten
Okay.
Word that.
Mhm.
with a black metal roof. So it's a, a weatherproof structure, low maintenance structure.
There's architectural standards in that neighborhood, and they say should be the same design and
Yes.
style as a house.
Yes.
And it is.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Is the one on the website,
String
the
for-
current one, that's from like 1970 or something?
The,
For Forest Bay, their covenants?
those are still
Oh, really?
legal,
Okay.
yes.
I think our house was built in 79, so
Okay.
yeah, that sounds about right.
Because the next petitioner is also from that area, so.
Yes.
I don't see any issues. Yeah. Make a motion to open to the public.
Yes, sir, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, Steve Zell, make a motion, we now open our meeting on this specific docket to the public.
Thank you, Mr. Zell.
Harrison Masania, second that motion.
All right, thank you, Mr. Masani. All in favor of opening to the public, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, this portion of the meeting is open to the public. If anyone would like to speak to this item on the docket, please step up to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Mr. Chairman, Harrison Masania, I move to close the public portion of this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Masani.
And go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, Mark Thomas, I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. All in favor of closing the public hearing for this item, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. Public portion of the meeting is closed for this item on the docket. I don't know what stipulations we would consider for this. Small building, it's
I don't think there are any. really. It's
businesses run
straightforward.
out of it or anything
To me,
like
it looks
that.
straightforward.
Living quarters or anything,
Yeah.
so, okay. All right.
Looking for a motion, or do we have any
Yes,
questions?
sir, I don't think so, unless there's a stipulation to consider, and I don't know what that would be in this one.
I don't see it.
Okay.
I think we're good.
All right, Harrison Masania here, I'm gonna move to approve docket number BZA-1025-43-R1.
Thank you, Mr. Masani.
Mr. Chairman, Mark Thomas, I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. We'll have a roll call vote. Steve Zell,
I approve.
Mark Thomas,
I approve.
Harrison Masani,
Approve.
Mike Berry.
I approve.
I'm Scott McCoskey, I approve. Congratulations. Thank you again for going through the motions there with us tonight, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And our last item on the docket for tonight is BZA-1025-44-R1. The petitioner is Susan Maddox at 32 Forest View Circle, Cicero, Indiana, 46034. The Development Standards Variance application has been submitted for property located at 32 Forest View Circle, Cicero, Indiana, 46034, concerning Article 7.22, Architectural Standards of the Cicero-Jackson Township Zoning Ordinance to allow an accessory structure without textured siding on all facades. Whereas Article 7.22 of the Cicero-Jackson Township Zoning Ordinance states that a siding on an accessory structure shall have a textured surface on all facades. Is the petitioner present? Hi there. If you
Hello,
would-
good evening. Hi, I'm Susan Maddox, 32 Forest View Circle. I'm here for petitioning for the textured sides. I had planned on doing this. It's going to have steel sides, and it will be, I'm kind of around the corner. I don't know if you can bring it up. The only real view is directly across the street. I've spoken to both of them. They are both fine with it. So the shorter part of the garage will be in their view versus the longer part. We're very much wooded, so you can see kind of right there. It's going up. That's going to be kind of tucked back as far as we can get right here. So these neighbors will not have a view, nor these, even in the winter, is very well hidden. And I still think it's going to be a good-looking building, but obviously I want to follow everything that I could. I want to be the least obtrusive. The garage will be used to house boats and a horse trailer. And that's pretty much it. And, you know, the extra stuff you just don't fit into your garage.
Right.
Ms. Maddox, the photo that we got in our packets looks like there's like a lapboard siding on there.
It's
Is
just kind of my computer oriented. That was me trying to put it together, kind of what I thought it might look like.
So is it just going to be like a pole barn style steel?
Steel, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have a living quarters
No,
inside of this? It
no.
looks like you got a porch on it.
Yeah, there's a little porch, and you can't. It wouldn't let me draw it in the picture, but it's going to have kind of a lean-to right there. That it's just I think aesthetically it makes it look a little nicer. That will face our
It does look
house.
nicer, yeah. So you're gonna have like water to the building or electricity?
Just electrical.
Just electrical?
Just electrical.
Okay.
No plans for a living quarters?
No.
business or
no.
anything like that?
Right now, I own something similar up in Elwood, and this would be so much nicer not to have to run there for everything that we're taking back and forth, and so that's kind of how this came about, this idea of this. So.
What kind of problem would it cause
I didn't hear
if
you.
you, huh?
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm,
Oh, sorry.
I'm looking at the screen up here, yeah, sorry. What kind of problems would it cause to have textured siding?
The way that I had designed it, it does have the steel siding. It would mean finding a way to add texture to steel. To me, I feel like that might get a little hokey. And so that's kind of why I thought, you know, just leaving it like it is, leaving like how it was built, I think would be aesthetically more pleasing than trying to put something on there that was not intended. And as I said, I still feel that it's going to be a very nice looking building. It's going to be tucked back in the woods. This came to me because I have so many neighbors around me that have similar structures that I thought, well, that would really be nice to have this at my property as opposed to driving to Elwood every week to exchange whatever it is we need at home.
Who's going to build the building for you? Who's your company?
American Steel.
American Steel?
Mhm.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have drove through the neighborhood. I didn't. But so is the HOA approve it?
We don't have an official HOA. Our house is not part of an HOA.
Oh, really?
It was, I think, maybe the first in that
Oh.
subdivision.
I did get to drive through the neighborhood today, and I believe that sort of siding does not match what else I see in that area. Outside of maybe a mini barn, whether it would house maybe a lawnmower only or something to that size.
Small.
They even had, you know, some texture to the siding on them, and the rest of the structures that I noticed all had matching the living quarters. So I don't think that exactly fits this neighborhood, to have a steel building sort of there where that space is. When I drove it, so the photo that we've got up here, is it basically plotted here?
No, it's gotta be further back, cause my septic is there, yeah, so we're gonna have to take out some more trees. Look, you see that little barn right there? It's a shed, that little brown shed right there. It's kinda right up against that.
Okay.
Because that whole front area is all septic and septic field, and I gotta stay obviously off of all of that.
And the building is pretty much hidden by trees, it's secluded, I mean.
Yes, it is. I can't see my neighbors on either side. The only one I can see, like I said, is Lonnie and Cindy across the street from me.
Okay.
So this is one street, yeah.
Like this.
And I have talked to Lonnie and Cindy about this, and they're good with this. I've showed them what I plan to do.
So I'm struggling with the fact that it, maybe I'm just not seeing it on the layout of plans that we have, it doesn't appear to be secluded, but, or maybe I'm missing something.
Well, I mean, this, like I said, the
Okay.
only place, the only one who can view it is right here.
Okay,
This is all woods right here. This is
It's all woods, okay.
right here. And so there's their house here. So like I can't see their house standing anywhere in my yard.
okay.
I can't see, I certainly can't see that one. I can see, maybe I hear their dog barking occasionally, but that's about it. And that's even in the winter. I can't see it. It's that thick. There also is I think it might be a drainage. It's also a big ditch
Yeah.
right here, right behind the house.
But in terms of the street views of the two streets there,
Yeah,
They would- you would be
you
able
won't
to
be able to see it because from here, the house is gonna hide it. It's gonna go right kind of up to this side, like to the back edge of the house. Really the places, Lonnie and Cindy are truly the ones that can view it.
okay.
Frank, can you pull up Street View
Yeah, I can.
and pull us up on Forest View Circle if you can?
Yeah, I always drive around, I get a chance to drive around.
Forest View Circle, let's see what that does. So that is from
That is from that curve, yeah.
this
right
view
there.
right here.
We kind of sit up on a hill, from that road down below Forest Lane, I believe.
Frank, you're on Zillow. Can you go to Google Maps?
I bet I can. Whoops, I just saw it, then anyway.
There you go.
To Forest View,
There you go.
there it is. There's it right there. So we're talking about,
Yeah, can you roll down the street to the left a little bit?
oh,
Yeah, can you just go down that way? Click on the road right here. Yeah, and then
okay.
just pan over to that.
I didn't know you could do that.
So in preparation of this, that you can see quite a few trees there, we've taken down probably 20 trees back on that edge. So really the only one, these two are standing, but all the, like a big section of this is gone. We can, that's, we're gonna kind of push it back in there.
Okay.
So the building is visible from the road.
It will be visible from the
Yeah.
circle road, not from the through road. And like I said, really it's the one house directly across from us, Lonnie and Cindy that will view that 30-foot piece of it.
Now, your drawing,
This house.
Mhm.
that you put up, the color is gonna match your house? Is that-
Yeah, our house is painted black right now,
Right,
and so
So, and
we'll
the
either,
building-
we've thrown around either painting it gray and going with gray with that, or doing that black and leaving it black. We gotta decide, but they'll match. Someone told me that, the previous owner had gray and the woodpeckers loved it. And so he painted it black, so I'm a little scared to paint it gray again.
That and woodborne bees.
Yeah,
Oh,
we still
yeah.
get those,
Oh,
we
yeah.
still get those.
Oh, yeah.
Lighting, we have lighting on the exterior of it?
Where the garage is on the front, we'll have one kind of like big light for just coming in and out when it's dark. On the door by the, I call it the people door, it's a service door,
Yeah.
a light above the service door. Really, it is not something that we're in and out of every single day, so I don't see a need for a ton of light. I certainly wouldn't want a ton across from me, so I don't plan on adding anything that would bother anybody. I don't want a motion detector that flips on and off all the time. I'd rather save the money and just turn the light on when I need it, which is rare in the summer and occasionally in the winter when, we have early dark. If I did possibly some landscaping lights, if we do, I wanted landscape all around the front of it, maybe a couple small landscaping lights for accent.
did you, talk to your builder about any options on any type of a textured siding?
They don't have any. They don't have any. So
Not-
I would, if I
nothing
had to
that-
go down a different route, I'd either have to add texture to the steel of some sort, or I'd have to go a completely different route. But then I'd lose my $5,000 deposit.
Right.
We
So-
did
so
try to get a siding to match when we first started talking about the permit. Wood siding was not an option, which is currently on our house, so
Right.
we decided to go for the variance instead.
Fiber cement?
Hmm?
Fiber cement, that's pretty rigid.
How does that work with a steel building?
Yeah.
You wouldn't do steel.
No.
No.
Yeah, you'd put
You'd have
fiber
to have,
cement around
you'd
the
have to have a
studs.
different type of building site, right?
Depends how it's framed.
Yeah.
You just X-nay the steel and put fiber up. I
We
mean,
didn't,
the
we didn't
name-
look into that.
The name of the company though, if I had to guess, it's, American
Steel, yeah, it's American.
Yeah, they don't,
We probably don't like fiber.
no, they don't have other
They're in
options.
They're in the steel.
That's where they're making their money.
I didn't know if they had like an embossed steel or anything like that, but
No,
Sounds like
nothing
they
like
don't.
that. I guess I thought through, my other option is finding a way to texture the steel, whether it's something applied, over it. But again, I went back to the, anything you apply over it is probably eventually gonna deteriorate. And so I don't want that, I don't want it to ever get to a point where it doesn't look 100%.
The mailers did go out to the neighbors and with the,
They did. If they had a problem, they'd be here in Forest Bay.
we would excuse that.
We have pretty vocal neighbors. And I have talked to everybody, not just across the street, I've talked to everybody around me. We had a great summer party and about September, and I told everybody what we were doing, and they're all in support of that.
I just wish there were other options.
well, that's what I'm thinking through right now. If like it's an R1
Yeah.
neighborhood, or at least plotted land, and there's a house for sale right now on Bear Cub, and their HOA is probably more of a carriage house than a barn on these properties. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know like Point Lane has barns, but none of the ones really like around that side of the lake really have any. I guess about horse stables they do.
If we're gonna move into board discussions, we should do the
Yeah.
public hearing
Oh,
first,
sorry.
Yes.
and then go into the discussion.
Yeah.
Out of use.
Maybe.
So we're ready to
Yeah.
open it up for public.
Give me one sec here.
Okay.
Mine's still going.
Yeah, this one, the battery's low.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to open our meeting up to the public on this specific docket.
All right, thank you, Mr. Zell.
Mr. Chairman, Mark Thomas, I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. All in favor of opening to the public for this item, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, public hearing is now open for this item on the docket. If anybody would like to speak, please step up to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Let the record show there is no one else in the public space right now. I can entertain a motion to close.
Mr. Chairman, Steve Zell, I'll make a motion that we now close our meeting to the public on this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Zell.
Mr. Chairman, Mike Berry, I second.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. All in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, board member discussions. So I'm opposed to this because I don't think that it fits the neighborhood, but I'm extremely concerned that there's a $5,000 deposit down. Mr. Culp, what happens if we didn't approve this for some reason? Is that lost in your experience?
I mean, it would all depend on what the contract says.
Yeah, if we don't know what the language in the
Yeah,
contract
it depends on the terms of the
Yeah,
contract
yeah.
and how that works. The contract could specify that the deposit is lost, it could say you get a percent back, it could be based on the time of cancellation, there's a lot of factors that we don't know. And at the end of the day, that doesn't bear on the decision
No, it
whether
doesn't.
Right.
it meets
No,
the
it doesn't.
requirements
No, you're
for
right.
a variance.
Frank, can you bring back up the GIS? So, how many people will actually be able to, of your neighbors, actually be able to see it? Back to that. So your neighbor next door.
The ones directly across the street.
And,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
people
there's-
travel on that road.
There's four
Yeah.
people.
We sit so much higher, you
Yeah.
can't even see like our deck.
Oh,
Really, like you can't see on top of our deck. There's quite a big node that comes up. I don't know if there's anything that really shows that, but, maybe the pictures from like the actual,
The street view,
yeah, if you went that way.
am I going the right way?
Frank's gonna be on here all night now. Street view.
Yeah.
So,
I knew about street view, I didn't know, but
That's like the lowest tip right there in the corner, and if you go around, you can see how, oh, I don't know if you can go down the road.
There's your neighbors, there's your neighbors, you can see it there.
If your
Yes.
concern is the visibility.
this way?
You can
Like,
look
yeah,
at adding
yeah.
a condition that there be landscape.
okay, that's exactly what I was
Something
gonna
that
ask you.
screens, like plantings or some small trees or bushes or something, if that would address your concern.
I think so.
How large a parcel is it?
I am 1.42.
1.65 I know, cause it's right there.
1.65.
Yeah, yep, 1.65.
I don't know where it came up, the 142.
I don't know if the board heard Mr. Culp or not, but one stipulation that we could consider is asking for foliage to block from the street the rest of what is easily seen, so it would interfere with your septic field. It would be to the side of that, but something that would block it from the street with, some kind of an evergreen
Some
type of,
landscaping or something?
right.
Yeah, like bushes or
Yeah,
trees
she
or something.
has that on here.
I think that's good. I can go on with that.
So,
I mean, that's what I could put in my little picture.
Yeah,
But
these
I
are-
try to, whatever I can to basically landscape around it, I could put something taller.
Yeah, my thought was something taller, something maybe closer to the road than that. But just, so when you glance over there, or you're driving by it peripheral, you don't see just giant steel in your face, you know?
And if you wanted to, you could put the condition, rather than
Yes.
trying to specify that they work with the planning director
Yes.
to do that.
Yes. I think that's acceptable to me. Without that landscaping or foliage, I'm struggling with this one.
Right.
So that would, in my mind, have happened.
We set a certain size of foliage, or we just
Well,
leave it? Or
We
we
work with Frank. Yeah.
Block that.
arborvitae, that's what those look like. They get pretty dang tall. Take a while.
I'm curious about the existing shed. Is that a steel shed or is that?
That is, no, it's wood, I think it's something someone plopped on there, it's about ready to fall over, really.
Okay.
So that will,
Probably T111 siding or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
it looks like a ready-made thing, someone just, put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's been there as long as the house can live with it.
What I would suggest for the wording would be, plantings to screen view from the street
Mhm.
to be worked out with the planning director. If that's what the board is thinking.
That's exactly.
Or to be approved by planning director, I should say.
Or screening.
You have any issue with that sort of thing? Is that anything that would cause you a
Okay.
problem, you think?
No, not at all.
Good,
Okay.
good deal.
We'll work on it and get it somewhere, not on the septic.
Yeah,
That's all, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else from the board? If not, I can entertain a motion to approve with the stipulation in there about the,
You're wound up, you're ready to go. That's right.
look at you,
Look at that.
unwind.
Harrison Masani here, moving to approve docket number BZA-1025-44-R1 with a couple stipulations that I'm gonna get some help on. Plantings to be around the perimeter. We're leaving that to Frank, or what are we doing there?
Blocking the street view
Yeah,
approved
blocking
by
the street.
plan director.
Blocking the street view approved by plan director. That concludes my motion.
I think that's it, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Masani.
Mr. Chairman, Steve Zallen will second that great motion.
All right, thank you, Mr. Zell. We'll have a roll call vote. I'm Scott Bukowski, I approve. Mike Berry,
I vote no.
Harrison Masani,
I also vote no.
Mark Thomas,
I approve.
Steve Zell.
I approve.
All right. So 3-2, congratulations. And you can work with Frank on getting some partition up there for us. Let's see. The next items we've already tabled. I'm going to move on to the,
Minutes.
I've got the minutes to get in here. So we missed an item on the docket tonight, and we need to amend the agenda for approval of the minutes. And I can entertain a motion to
Mr.
do
Chairman,
so.
Steve Zell, I'll make a motion that we amend our tonight's agenda to allow for the insertion of the approval of our last month's meeting minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Zell.
Mr. Chairman, this is Mike Berry, I second that.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. All in favor of amending the agenda, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? So, with that, I'm going to insert the approval of the minutes from our last meeting, which was September. Has everyone had a chance, except for Mr. Zell, to look through those minutes?
Well, in
And anyone
fact,
have-
Mr. Chairman, I probably should abstain since I was not here.
I would
So-
appreciate that, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, this is Mike Berry. I make a motion we approve last month's meeting minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Berry.
Mr. Chairman, Mark Thomas will second that.
I should have.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. All in favor of approving the minutes except for Steve Zell, please say aye. Aye. All right. All opposed? Those minutes are approved.
I'm just teasing.
I know, me too. So we will move on to the plan director's report that's in our packet.
Good evening, BZA. I have here in front of me the latest version of the director's report. This is for September of 2025. Permit revenue for the month of September 2025 was $6,679. Brings us up to a year-to-date of $41,225. So at the same time last year, September of 2024, we were at $5,612 for the month and $46,394 for the year. That's a difference for the month of September, a plus $1,067 for the month, and a minus for the year of $5,169. We issued a total of 25 building permits for September 2025. 13 were for within the corporate limits, no new homes there. We issued another 12 out in Jackson Township, no new homes there either. Estimated cost of these projects was $1,192,199. That is my report. Any questions for me?
Yes, Mr. Zawatsky, there's a deficit there of 5,000 some odd dollars. Will we be able to make that up by the end of the year? As in case of Estridge Homes starting to permit by the end of the year?
I don't think that we'll be permitting by the
No.
end of the year, no.
They've got more proceedings to go through with the plan commission still.
Correct, we have two more. They
Okay.
have to go through the subdivision process, and then we have to go through construction plans at the minimum. There may be another one if they so desire, if the plan
Okay.
commission so desires.
All righty. Anything else for Mr. Zawatsky? All right, we'll move on to the chairperson's report. This is something that I haven't been looking forward to, and I'm a little bit reluctant, but I'm afraid that I'm going to have to assign the board some homework tonight. Been asked by Mr. Strong to come up with some things that are causing us some problems or some headaches, and maybe are not really that necessary to have in our ordinances. And I'm going to give you some examples of these, and what I'm asking for from the board is to bring these to the table next month.
And the purpose of this is what?
To sort of streamline some things. And when I give you these examples, I think you'll understand what I'm talking
Sure.
about for sure.
Okay.
Number one, first and foremost, is these accessory structures in front of the primaries, right? And maybe
Yeah,
in
that's a good one.
our thought process, we exclude a district that we're getting ready to institute, which is the lakefront somehow, so we can stop hearing some of these things. Setbacks on the lakefront properties, maybe pitch heights on some accessory structures. I'm not sure. My favorite is the corner lot for a fence.
Yeah.
That one's
Yeah.
one that causes us some headaches and some unneeded time, effort, energy from plan director and petitioners. So those sorts of things is what I'm asking the board to bring to the table. And maybe we could list those next month on things that we would like the town council or plan commission to review and look at possibly doing away with or amending somehow, so to keep us from some of this extra work.
Okay.
Now that the comp plan has been updated.
Yes.
Next step is an update of our ordinances.
Yes.
And so we've been working to identify areas that we run into repeatedly and say, do we need that standard, or if we're always improving it, should we
Yeah.
amend it?
Right.
And so I think Dan's thought was BZA wrestles with this question every month, and
Mhm.
so you'd be in a good
Yeah, we
position
do.
to have ideas.
Mhm.
Yeah, we went through a process of where we had to pay a little more attention to the findings of facts and all that. So,
Mhm.
that meant more work for us,
Mhm.
which we understand to fall in with, state law and all that good, that sort of thing. But yeah, the streamlining thing would, be a nice thing, yeah.
So potentially these will become the new ordinances?
Yes, well, that'll be the planning commission and the town council's ultimate call.
Right.
The idea would be to propose these.
Yes.
And the planning commission is going through the
Yeah.
same thing right now,
Okay.
looking at what needs to be changed. We're looking at if there's any changes that need to be made sooner rather than later, trying to put stuff
Right.
together. But then we are going to be engaging a consultant to work with us to do an overhaul, like we did when we generated those books 11
Yes.
years ago. And so
Yes.
we'll be doing a process like that. And some of these
Okay.
that aren't urgent will be fed into that process.
Wow, okay.
I might add just a couple of things. Mr. Strong and I have been working on this for the past couple of months. A couple of things, maybe if I could ask you guys to pay particular attention to, sign standards in the NC and the DC district, major headache.
And give us an example, if you would, Frank, in
Well,
terms of
The
why is that-
definition
why
of
is that-
electronic sign
Yeah,
would be
that's-
my favorite one.
That's one I've got.
Okay, okay.
Right? Well,
Enough said.
that's one. There's several other
We
ones
can call
too.
that, well, I won't say.
And we think that
Okay.
definitions could kind of straighten a lot of this stuff out. For example,
Yeah.
pole signs are
Yeah,
not allowed
that's right.
anywhere. However, if it's only 4 inches off the ground, we can call it a monument sign
Yeah.
sometimes. So, things like that.
Okay,
That's a projecting sign, the definition of a projecting sign. For example, if projecting sign at 18 inches off the wall, but if it hangs from a bar.
yeah,
is
like
it-
down here at the business down the street.
Correct.
Yes.
You know, is it
Yeah.
more of a, is
Bless
that
you.
actually
Bless
a
you.
hanging sign?
Yeah,
Or, and I kind of think so, but it's,
yeah,
you
those are
know.
good examples. Yeah.
So there's several of those, so if we could look at those. Also, parking standards. Every business in town here has a parking variance. And we don't have enough parking. And, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. The tree in the parking space, that's one thing that we have a problem with, you know, 1 tree per every 10 spaces.
Yeah,
I think that that's an ordinance that's designed for like the Walmarts and the Home Depot sized parking lots.
yeah,
But we have new districts or things to consider besides, you know, downtown. now.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
those might apply to those, but not maybe downtown.
That's
That's true.
exactly,
Right.
you know, what I
Yeah.
think I would suggest, but I would look to you guys to suggest
Yeah.
that. You know, some stuff is good for some districts, and we kind of have a blanket ordinance now. I think it should be a little more specific. I think there's some other ordinance that maybe it's a little too tight, but we can talk about that later.
okay. This would be done at the end of our meeting next month, would you say, or, I don't know if you've got dockets already lined up for next month, you probably do, but,
Well, we're gonna have the armory.
well, that's for sure, yeah, because that gets moved off, tabled, yeah, okay.
I could put it in new business. We could do it during board member discussion.
And what does it look like to you? Does it just look like to each member reading a list of the things that they would want to have considered, or is that enough? To try to
I
keep
mean,
it,
do we need to have a discussion about that? Do we need to insert a document with each of us and that, or how? I mean, I don't think that would be a good discussion necessarily to have in front of the public.
I would suggest maybe you could email Frank your comments.
okay.
And then Frank
Okay.
can be in charge of collating.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that idea.
He'd be in charge of what?
Collating
Oh,
all
yes,
that together.
okay.
And then reporting that to Dan and the planning commission.
Yeah.
And just by the
I'm
next,
just wondering how we were gonna work through that as a board, you know?
by the next meeting, or would you prefer to have it sooner than that?
Sooner is always better.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have some recommendations that you put together?
So you have your own,
I
right?
have a whole entire list of stuff I have a problem with.
Okay.
Well, I'm just thinking that, why do double duty if that's the case? Because Frank, I mean, the ones you mentioned are clearly targeted, you know, should be. And I'm just thinking, if you've got those, I mean,
Well, we
can
might
add
have,
to
we might
that.
have more to add.
Yeah, well, I know that, but I'm just saying that why repeat something that you may already have on the list?
Mhm.
But the thing of it
it's also, I don't want it to be about the stuff that's pain in the neck for me,
No,
so.
No,
it's-
but us.
Or
In
Or
our
if
case,
it's
right.
kind of a
necessarily.
pain in the neck for you, it's gonna be it's a pain in the neck for us, is it not? You know, so we're with you, brother.
I appreciate
Okay.
that.
And
so-
all we're doing is
Yeah.
providing a
Confirmation.
well, it's just a suggestion, really.
Suggestion.
We're
It
not,
is.
we're not demanding
We're not
anything,
dictating anything, no.
we're not deciding anything, we're just bringing it to the plan commission's attention, right?
I would also ask you to be specific. You know, I don't want you
Yeah,
to just
yeah,
say
no.
sign ordinance is bad.
Okay,
You know, please be
Yeah.
specific.
okay.
You are right. Okay.
Thanks for having her send that Excel sheet over too.
Yeah.
Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, it did not do what I wanted.
Uh,
I've tried. I've got to reformat the whole Excel sheet. And
Okay,
it may function. I'm gonna try.
thanks for trying.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all I had for chairperson's
I
report,
was just
so,
gonna say on the armory business coming up next month, I didn't get a staff report. I don't know if everybody, and then I always like those staff reports. Frank, you do a good job on those. That helps bring out the pluses and minuses and, of whatever's before us here, so.
I thought I made one, but,
You may have, and I just didn't get one.
Okay.
So.
It's also a military installation. How much leeway do we
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
have? I mean,
Well, he's sorting everything already. He's the Navy guy. So, but,
We don't wanna get any further into that since we've tabled it
yeah, so,
tonight.
okay,
And I did see at least one gentleman who I think had come for that and left when we announced we were.
okay, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, fair enough.
so just to reiterate, email to Frank as soon as possible, a list and being specific in the ordinance, what you would like to change or do away with or implement, each item, as soon as possible in an email form to Frank. And that's gonna conclude my chairman report. Legal counsel report.
I just have two brief things. The first is, the way you started that discussion, I thought you were about to announce you were resigning.
Me
I
So
too.
did I.
And I was like really
Yeah.
worried.
Me too.
Yeah, I thought, man, that or somebody passed away.
Yeah,
So we know.
I was like, holy
Uh,
cow, I didn't know he
yeah.
was just gonna leave the board.
So
Mr.
I'm
Cole.
kind of relieved, actually, we
I-
got the assignment.
I absolutely did that on purpose. So,
Boy, you're a good actor.
Yeah, cause you have me hook, line, and sinker.
So did I, man.
The second thing, I'm going to send all of you, I don't think I've done this, a copy. As you may know, Noblesville had a decision of its BZA overturned. They approved Beaver Gravel to do a quarry east or west of town. And a bunch of the property owners together appealed that. They were successful in front of the local court. Beaver
okay.
appealed that, and the Court of Appeals ruled a couple of weeks ago upholding the local court's decision. I think it's a good example. It shows you the way the courts analyze our decision, so that you can just kind of look at how they weigh that.
Yeah.
In theory, a court is not supposed to redetermine facts. They're supposed to look at, did the evidence before you support your conclusion?
Mhm.
In my opinion, this is not what our local court or Court of Appeals did here. They reweighed the facts and came to a different conclusion. But at the end of the day, that's my opinion and carries no legal precedential weight with anything. But I just wanted to share that with you, and if you got any questions or anything about it, you can email or call me. But when I see a case like that, I just feel like it helps you in your role see the sort of questions that we have to answer if
Yeah.
we do get challenged
It
on a
does,
decision.
it does, it's, yeah.
So,
thank you for that, Mr. Cole, because that
Yeah,
is something
that is
that we
good.
are constantly against happening to us possibly. So we
Yeah.
need to know about that stuff. Can I ask you some questions about that
Sure.
situation? So the court system basically had its own hearing then again, instead of talking through the BZA's
It did
decision
not
process.
it did not take, as I understand it, they didn't have evidence where, like they called witnesses and stuff. What they did was, they went back through the transcript and looked at the testimony and the records and everything else that the BZA considered. And And then the local court concluded that the evidence did not support the finding that the property could not be put to use under its existing zoning, because this was a land use variance.
Okay.
And they concluded that the evidence they had was insufficient. Now, the evidence was, as I again, I've only read the Court of Appeals decision. As I understand it, the evidence was that the yield for that land was significantly less because of the soil composition, and it did not work well for farming, which is why they were looking at other opportunities. The court looked at that and said, oh, no, it can still be used for a permissible purpose because it can be farmed. And they decided that the evidence they based it on wasn't conclusive enough. And then the Court of Appeals went along with that interpretation. Now, to me, they reweighed the evidence. But that's not how those two courts see it. They just decided that the evidence didn't support the findings.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they can. They can do that, or they can always they could apply now to seek to have it rezoned. That's also an option. Now, whether or not they would succeed, I'm guessing part of the reason they went for a land use variance is they thought maybe the chance was better at getting that than a rezone. But I know that Beaver has run into opposition with several efforts to rezone in Noblesville before. And so maybe their thought was, if we can prove we meet these 5 criteria, they have to give us the variance. And that's why they went that way, but that's just me speculating.
Thank you, Mr. Cole.
Are we still on the air?
Yes.
Yes.
Board member comments.
Be quiet. Everybody's looking at me like I'm supposed to say something.
All right, next Plan Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. This is a question mark here, because it's the third Thursday of the month, which is
It's November
Thanksgiving.
20th,
November
2025, 7 PM here at the Cicero Town Hall.
All righty.
All right, thank you. And with that, I
My
can
calendar.
entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Harrison Masani.
Thank you, Mr. Masani.
Mr. Chairman, Steve Zell, I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Zell. All in favor of adjournment, please say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned.